There's no doubt that the incidence of infection is going up. What they're saying is that it's primarily in the unvaccinated population. So the fact that there has been a lot of is not an indication of immunity.
So, but I do know, like, they're vaccinated for, like, the kids aren't vaccinated yet, they got it, and now they got it.
So the application is still in Word? Yeah. So I sent it off. I guess she's put good information. She's populated. But it's still in Word. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
A name for deaths.
It's on.
Honored to share her name.
Very pleased to hear that.
Yeah.
She was looking.
So before we do it, I'm going to have one of the board members read, and then we'll sing. So I'll
What,
prompt
the
you.
co-
I'll
the-
prompt the kiddo.
Do you have it here with,
See that we're being picked up online too. That'll make sense.
Oh, okay, well, whatever, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Here's one. Stuart.
The strength to dwell in the light our God's love abides. May the doors of our temple be open to all. Baruchim Habayim. May we always heed the call. May we be a family of faith with love at the center. May our temple hold a beautiful light for all who enter. A sanctuary from all hatred and strife. With doors and hearts open to a more meaningful life. May our temple doors be open wide to all who are hungry for love. May we welcome all seekers of truth inside, those searching for light from above. May the doors of our temple be open to all. Baruchim Habayim. May we always heed the call.
Shabbat Shalom. Well, as we welcome Shabbat, the doors of our temple are open wide, and we welcome you, those who are with us in person, as well as those who are with us virtually, and definitely appreciating the Shabbat Shalom chatter on Facebook this evening as we come together in so many ways, in a multitude of ways, to welcome Shabbat. We welcome you along with the Kosher Cowboys and on vocals this evening, Laura Brandon Rosales and Tia Lee Schwartz. As we come together to celebrate Shabbat, we welcome Keith Myers and Becky Myers forward to light the Shabbos candles. We turn in our prayer books to pages 2 and 3 as together we rise. Let us read together from the top of page 3. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
May the glow of these candles bring peace to the world, and the spirit of Shekinah surround us. May the blessings of our days fill our hearts with love. And Shabbat Shalom be. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav kitzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat, l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
As we welcome Shabbat, we take a moment to offer a wave and wish a Shabbat Shalom to the people around us, and then you may be seated. As you're seated, we turn to page 7. Page 7. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. We continue together. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. As we welcome this day of quiet and of peace, we turn to page 20 to welcome with the joy that we would feel as if at a wedding, welcoming the bride down the aisle. Lachadodi, page 20.
Lechadodi, likrat kana, l'nei Shabbat, nekabla. Lechadodi, likrat
Ready to pray, ready to begin Shabbat in earnest, we turn to page 28 to rise for the call to prayer. Page 28, Baruch Hu. Let us continue together in English at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim, page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Adonai
read responsively on page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. V'ne'amar ki fad Adonai et Yaakov, u'go'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. As God saved Israel, as God saved our people, helping us to cross over from slavery to freedom in ancient days, so we continue by asking for God's protection and safety, even still now, this evening and every evening, with Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'ha'amidenu malkeinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu simchat shlomecha, ufros aleinu simchat shlomecha. Amen.
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We pray together as we begin our Amidah on page 46 and then continue over the next several even-numbered pages. If you are able to rise, please do. You may be seated. Page 55. We read together from the top of the page. Page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat. We sing together at the top of page 57, and then continue in silent prayer and reflection.
Ever present one, may we
May the words of our mouths, the meditations of our hearts, be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer. We sing together on page 62. It's natural that just as we're offering our own private prayers and seeking to be reassured that our prayers and our hearts will be heard, that we turn to the loved ones, the friends, the people in our lives who are in need of healing. On page 253, we'll sing together a prayer for healing. If you are thinking of someone whose name you'd like to offer to the community so that we might all join you in your prayers for them, I invite you to share them if you are with us virtually aloud or by typing it into the chat as I share these names and then invite those present to do as well. We pray for healing for Donald Weinberg, Jim DeRoss, Lloyd Gerard, Dolores Spector, Angie Brockman, Brandon Fernandez, Adela Seaman, John Garcia, Mila Holst, John Lenhart, Noel Meyer. To those names we add.
Richard, Debbie Ward.
Judy, yeah.
Heidi Gurton.
On page 253, we sing together for them and for all of those who are ill.
Bless the one
Shabbat is a time for being present and examining the moment. But it's hard, especially this particular Shabbos, not to take a moment to look ahead as well. We're deep in the month of Kislev, the Hebrew month of Hanukkah. It's a time for, in many ways, taking account of the joys in our lives and also thinking through our priorities. We're helped in that as we gather together with family to light the Chanukiah, the Hanukkah menorah. We also acknowledge at the same time the darkness of the world and push back against it with the tradition of increasing light from one night to the next over the course of 8 nights. We sing and we celebrate. Maybe we even offer a small gift here and there. With the latke smell giving our homes a sense of warmth, a sense of being lived in, that lasts for many of us for many months as we scrounge around looking for all of the droplets of potato-scented oil that splattered on the floor and on the walls. As we anticipate the coming holiday, as we find ourselves in this month, it's nice to recall that teaching about how the month of Kislev has a name that can be divided into two Hebrew words, kis and lev. A kis is a pocket, and a lev is a heart. Michal Popper writes, "Where does one usually feel the darkness and the sadness most? And where does one feel light and happiness most? In our hearts." During the month of Kislev, with Hanukkah and this year Thanksgiving as well, we are often given opportunities to experience both the happy and the sad. The things and the people that are missing in our lives are all the more missing. The things and the people that are present are all the more present. The holidays tend to be a particularly joyous time, but they can also be particularly difficult. For those with feelings of sadness, we risk allowing that sadness to take us through the holidays without much growth or work done to wrestle with the sadness so that we might grow stronger, learn lessons, and become the joy and the feeling of joy during the holidays. We risk allowing the joy to pass by too quickly. We give ourselves too few moments to wrestle with and really reflect and grab hold of the joy so that we might be inspired by it to go forward from these holidays with optimism and hope for what is to come. As we read in this week's Parsha about Jacob wrestling with a man or an angel or himself, we also think about the importance of wrestling with ourselves. The winter holidays can be a time of great distraction, but that shouldn't be the case. They should be a time during which we take stock of where we are emotionally, of wrestling with those feelings and working through them, of embracing them, grabbing hold of them, and embracing ourselves. In our Torah, we read this week, when Jacob was left alone, a man wrestled with him until the break of dawn. When he saw that he had not prevailed against him, he wrenched Jacob's hip at its socket, so that the socket of his hip was strained as he wrestled with him. Then he said, "Let me go, for dawn is breaking." But he answered, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And said the other, "What is your name?" And he replied, "Jacob." Said he, "Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Yisrael, Israel. For you have wrestled with beings divine and human and have prevailed." Jacob wrestles and leaves that place to encounter his brother, the one who wanted to kill him the last time he saw him. He leaves that place a totally different person. Or at least he leaves that wrestling match with the realization that he has been transformed. He has become. He is now Yisrael, a wrestler. Jacob teaches us the importance of wrestling. Of wrestling even with things like the man, the angel, and God, that maybe we think we should just let go. We learn from Jacob that when we really wrestle, when we really grab hold and struggle in sacred struggle, when we wrestle with divine purpose, then we can become what we are meant to become. Jacob becomes the ancestor of a people, and 4,000 years later, his descendants still call themselves Yisrael. During the month of Kislev, with Thanksgiving and then Hanukkah approaching, we might consider taking our hearts out of our pockets, bearing them so that we can examine them, hold them, grab them, wrestle to establish what is really going on with us and for us. Maybe we'll see how lucky we are and how many joys there are that we can carry from this moment on into our future. Maybe we will realize how sad we are and look for ways to honor our sadness, to learn from our sadness, and to grow. Let us not shy away from wrestling. Let us consider how, when we are real and honest with ourselves, we can grow and be our best for ourselves, for the people we love, for our community. Let us find ways in this month of Kislev to take our hearts from our pockets. Shabbat Shalom. As we celebrate Shabbat with the symbol of joy and sweetness, the wine, we welcome forward Sherry Schwartz to offer a reading in English on page 5. And then we will continue with the blessing.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who, finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from all the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance.
We rise for Kiddush, page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagofenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotov v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho Yahovah ratzon in Hilonu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom te'ilu l'mekroei kodesh, zeher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki vanu b'harto v'yato
L'chaim. We remain standing as we turn to page 282 for Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 282. You may be seated. As we turn to page 288, we reflect on loved ones gone. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. When you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. I invite those who are with us virtually to type in or to share aloud the names of those they are remembering this Shabbos. If you hear the name of someone you are remembering, I invite you to rise. We mourn the recent death of Dorothy Grodin, Joseph Metrikin, Joyce Ehrlich, Barbara Ettinger, Morton Ehrlich, Jennifer Levine, Catherine Talbot. This anniversary week of their passing, we observe yahrzeit for Bonnie Aguirre, Evelyn Axelrod, Henry Becker, Margaret Amstetter Blaugrund, Erwin Brand, Florence Sitterman, Ralph L. Kaufman, Angie Doki, Louis Edelman, Herman Aaron Fass, Clotilda U. Fatman, A. Milton Feinberg, Ruth Feld, Jeanette Fennenbach, Jenny Frobel, Libby Geller, Saul Glazer, Miriam Kahn Goldfarb, B. Hollander, Marlene Rivkin Hyman, Sonora Kaufman, Helen Kern, Edmund Klein, Earl Z. Korf, Mikhail Koshelev, Dorothy Ruth Koven, Model Kazakish, Max Krakauer, Amelia Krohn, Eleanor K. Lepowski, Lena Bromberg Levinson, Jeanette Lefkowitz, Solomon Luger, Judith Nankin, Lucille M. Oppenheimer, Francine A. Railanu, Bella Riven, Henry Silverman, Stephen Weiss, Michael Blair Williamson, Beatty D. Wisburn. Are there any names to add? We remember them and we remember all of those who have no one to say Kaddish for them as we rise together as one communal family to recite the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'gala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, Da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing and an inspiration as we live our lives in their honor. As together we say, Amen. You may be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
At this time, we welcome forward Temple President Stuart Schwartz to offer announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to thank our greeters, Lisa Wolf in the back and Haiti Appel for assisting us today. To the Kosher Cowboys, Mauricio, Jamie, Bob, and David for a beautiful job. Thank you so much. To our niece and aunt team, Laura Brandon Rosales and Lee Schwartz, thank you all so much. Between the six of you all, you bring so much joy to this service. I mean, it's just phenomenal. What's that? The Kosher Cowboys, thank you. Cowpoke. Oh, the Kosher Cowpoke. Thank you, thank you. So it's so beautiful to hear your voices, and it brings so much joy to the service, and we appreciate it so very much. To Sherry Schwartz, our past president, for joining me on the Bima, and of course to Rabbi Zeidman for leading us in service, and for your Devorah Torah. Let me also thank our Shabbat sponsors, our streaming sponsors, Wendy Axelrod in memory of her mother, Evelyn Axelrod, Vladi Kranovich and Olga Koshleva in memory of Mikhail Koshlev, Fifi Heller-Keim in memory of Bonnie Aguirre, Charles and Peggy Kovan in memory of Dorothy Kovan. Our Bima Flower sponsors, Mark Finnenbach in memory of Jeanette Finnenbach, Richard and Marlene Fass in memory of Herman Aaron Fass, Tommy Goldfarb family in memory of Miriam Goldfarb, Eleanor and Bob Williamson in memory of Michael Williamson, and Lynn Crone in memory of her mother, Amelia Crone. And to Kiddush, Vladi Kranovich and Olga Koshleva in memory of Mikhail Koshlev, Fifi Heller-Keim in memory of Bonnie Aguirre, and Sue Bendelin in memory of A. Milton Feinberg. Torah study tomorrow will only be in Zelenka Hall. There won't be any Zooming tomorrow, but it starts at 9:30, and we hope you can join us, followed by the Shabbat morning service in person only at 10:30 a.m. Sunday, I'm sorry?
You're streaming the service tomorrow.
Oh, we're streaming the service tomorrow. Thank you. So we'll be streaming. No religious school on Sunday, no adult education on Thursday, and no choir rehearsal on Thanksgiving. I don't know why not. Save the date for Saturday, December 4th at 6 for the Temple Mount Sinai's vodka and latkes. You'll need to make your reservation, but we look forward to a big crowd for that. On Sunday, December 5th, the Mount Sinai Floyd S. Spearman Religious School, together with Child Protective Services of El Paso, invites you to participate in a blue ribbon campaign for children to reach a goal of providing gifts to 1,200 children during the holidays. Please let Rebecca Glazer know if you would like to sponsor a child. You can get more information either on our weekly emails or by calling the temple office. Each sponsor will receive children's information with their wish list, and we wish to collect the toys during our Hanukkah family event on Sunday, December 5th at 9:30, which just coincidentally is the next event after that. That is on, again, 9:30 on December 5, followed by a URJ camp presentation, and then the Temple's Religious School Hanukkah family event open to all families. A big week and period ahead, and we hope you can participate in all of those activities. One final thought that I had as I was listening to Rabbi Zeidman's Devar Torah, you know, we all have feelings of joy and sadness during this season. I'm going to make it an effort to think between now and Thanksgiving, now and next weekend, about the people that I can call that I haven't reached out to, make phone calls to them and let them know I'm thinking about them. And I hope that maybe you will also be inspired by the rabbi's comments to make those calls as well and make a difference in so many people's lives who could be alone during the holidays, or people that you just have not spoken to that are very good friends that you think now is the time to make that phone call. So thank you, Rabbi, for allowing me to think about that opportunity, and I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat. Thank you.
I think so much about this season and about Judaism in general is that we believe that a world of perfection and peace is possible, and that we lift up the joys and try to celebrate them as often as we can. So we conclude on page 353. Peace will surely come to us, to everyone. Od yavo shalom aleinu, salam shalom. The very bottom of page 353, as we rise and sing together.
Shalom Aleinu, Oyavot Shalom Aleinu, Oyavot Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Oyavot Shalom Aleinu, Oyavot Shalom Aleinu, Oyavot Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Shalom.
May there be peace for us, for everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Please join us just outside the front doors for Kiddush and Motzi. And if you're able, please help us out by taking the books to the shelf in the back. Thank you so much.
Did you take it back?
do it? She's being sarcastic.